the revolution, web revolution. That was a positive thing. Then I was witness, because when I was starting, it was really state 90 decade. It was really statement fashion, really solid, really corporate, really, we had to say, really strong corporate moment on fashion. And after that, in the beginning of the new century, we was feel something was happening. It was starting slowly, the revolution, the web revolution. The explosion, big explosion, is happened, I think, 4 years ago, like in the 2006, yeah, 06, 07. But it was starting already in the beginning of the century in any way. I remember when I used to be editor-in-chief of Vogue, we was build also in Italian Condé Nast, the website. We was just starting at that time, and but everybody was confused about that. Everybody, we feel the impact of the media, but we didn't know how to manage it. In any case, after take a while, like at least another couple of years, to feel the big explosion. It was starting with the blog phenomenon, but also with all this picture on web, because the communication was much faster than ever. Already fashion maker has a high speed. Already fashion system, fashion work is a really speedy, but web make another big like another big speed, and all the systems was get this big influence, because the picture of the collection, the catwalk, was visible right away, which was not possible at my time. 10 years ago, it was impossible. You should wait at least 4 months to see, no, not 4 months, but to get the first lookbook, 2 months. I remember we used to write a lot of stuff to get the right clothes after the catwalk. Anyway, this was make everybody was revolution of web make us reset. Everybody was reset the level of the job. The magazine, the people, the designer, the journalists, the magazine, everyone was involved in this web revolution. Luckily, it was make a kind of democratization in the job, because also make accessible our work from every part of the world, from people also never really far from us. Then I always remember for example, the example of Brian Boy, which was a great blogger, fashion blogger, come from Philippines, Manila, and before it was impossible to people from Manila getting involved, get in contact with us. And he came from there, and he came already on the front row. You mean, that's for everybody was something really strong. At that point, luckily I was at the right time to enjoy, because at the time when I feel this kind of contact, great contact with people, also break rules from the web generation. I would say I was jumping on the train. I don't want to be here, and that's why I started to make my blog. I said I should start the blog. I didn't have any idea to do. But I started at the beginning, it was awful, I remember. I said, what is that? Look terrible. But slowly I was found my way, and I started to enjoy it, because it was time to get out of the cage for everyone. Then this is the positive revolution. Also, it was, for example, the accessible of the catwalk make another approach, more great approach, more individual approach of the designer work. You can immediately also take your point of view of the catwalk rather than be influenced by the magazine. Then it was a big revolution for everyone. I think for fashion we need to go a little bit, we need to slow down now. As usual, after a revolution, there is a moment then you need to get out from the right thing, from the negative thing. I mean, to just have a new era, but with resetting, and also to new blood, new attitude, but also to again to found the new rules. And one is that we cannot go so fast like that. For example, for the designer, it's struggle to have 4 collection any season like that, like big like that, and the magazine. For the magazine too, we cannot really stay at that rhythm. Like it's really struggle for everyone. And plus, I found a big contradiction between communication and marketing now, because if you noticed, in the, everything come more fast, but not the shopping. Shopping has to follow the natural temper. Shopping is related to the natural evolution of the day, of the season. Then, if you notice now, we already do the double thing. I mean, you can really shopping winter stuff when it's sold when it's starting the sale, because it's not already start the season, the right winter season. Then this is make everything in an upside down. Then I think we should follow the season again. We should follow the natural to understand. For example, I give you an example. Now I'm going to do Fashion Night Out in Tokyo in the 1st of November. The beginning of November, the 5th of November, will be a big event than ever, because everyone come here, will be there, all the editors in the world to support the Japanese market, blah blah blah. All right, I was Prada, Signora Miuccia Prada asked me to take care about the Yokohama shop, to do something to do something for this event, thinking about how make the magazine interesting for this event. And I was thinking, all right, what season we are? I said, okay, it's winter, the beginning of winter. Okay, what we already saw that winter look old, resort is already out, and summer catwalk, next summer is already out. Which collection I can play with? And I said, it's not good if I thinking about resort or summer, even summer, because people is not ready wear the winter stuff, because it's not ready start the season. We should stay in a winter. I said, I want to still working on the winter collection. I want to find a way to make a new way of with the winter collection, because otherwise we not respect the evolution. We not follow the season. And Tokyo now is really hot. If you see my ADR weather, tomorrow is 25 degrees, like summer still. I mean, it's important to reset a little bit the calendar with the natural season, to me. My muse is Carrie Roitfield. I always watch her as an example of femininity, sexy, strong, modern, young way to wearing fashion. To me, it's incredible how I learned so much from Carrie, because she's fearless, but she always push forward the fashion, but she always chic. She ageless. I always thinking, I never think about her age, because she is a perfect example of a timeless woman, like no age woman. Yeah. work hard in the beginner. Don't don't make this mistake like visibility now. That's another negative thing about web stuff. Visibility is not enough, because for example now everyone get really in the fashion like assistant, you young designer, young fashion assistant, fashion editor, they got a really big visibility through the fashion blogger, through all these things, but it's not enough. This can be just a beginner, but you should work hard to understand better fashion, because it's not fashion is like yoga. Everyone want to come, but it's a lot of selection after that. Nobody is not for everyone. It's not for everyone, because there is many people attract to this one, but not many can really go forward or can really make a big evolution, because it's like everything. It's a paradox also, because it is a big attraction, but also is really hard work. Then at that point everyone is coming, but not many has the structure to handle with all the pressure, all the evolution. And is a muse. Fashion is a muse. You should always, I said, you should seduce her. Means you should really work hard to understand it. I always also say I never miss a fashion show, fashion season, because it's so important to follow the evolution of the history of fashion. Then really work hard. I have a lot to say as a personal point of view, because how I told you, I was working as a soldier in a corporate company to make my professional strong. But now after that I'm able to talk about my point of view. For example, all these projects, all these big personal projects like that, like coming in Dubai, meet you, meet Symphony, I like so much, because it's, to me, is another way to explore in fashion, to meet all the women with a different culture, to understand how they interpret the fashion, how the market can go. And I really have a lot, I'm really interested about marketing too. Then I wish to make a marketing project to get close to the consumer, rather than do a lot of dream images like I did it, because that's is another approach. It's two different approach, but now I think I'm really like to exploring the market area, just to say my opinion, because I would like to to build my brand in that way, like a personal point of view. Maybe if the brand can be a personal point of view, yeah. I prefer live, not dead. I like younger people. I like young people, because for me it's important to, in fashion it's really important to keep the eyes fresh. Then it's important to get related with a young personality. That's why also I love my job, because it's all related to youngness, youthness. I mean, you have to deal with that new beautiful generation, and I can share my time with young people all the time. I like that. Yeah. Then young musician, young designer, young architect, but young. Then they put another. They come with another energy. I like the energy, yes, and I like my knowledge. Then that's a great mix. My mantra is always go bold. Go bold, like that's why I love yoga, and I practice yoga every day, because you have to force yourself never be afraid to work on your limits, to work on your fear. Not that's my mantra. Never be afraid. Try, take a risk. Don't thinking too much of what the people thinking, what the people will. No, please the people around. Just make a force every day. I'm going to love Dubai. Dubai is the oasis in the desert, but it's a great oasis. I like the organization of Dubai. I like it's everything clean, everything is so organized, everything is so perfect done. Like the fountain, I have the chance to be in this Armani hotel and watch the fountain all day long, no? In 2 days. And like this big swimming pool, I was thinking, I love swimming pool. I was thinking it was good to get in the fountain as a swim in the fountain, but we can. Anyway, for example, the fountain is a perfect example of Dubai. Like it's an exercise of beauty, of efficiency, because like for example, it's a desert, but they build this fountain, which is a great images, no? Fountain in the desert, but in the same time they make this fountain dancing. They make this fountain with choreography. They can follow the music. They can look like a beautiful woman in the swimming pool, like all the movie of which is the name of the lady in the water, Esther Williams. You know Esther Williams? They dancing in the water. They always dancing in the water. You know, this is a great example. Also, you have to clean the fountain because it has to be fresh water, very well clean. And I think I like this mentality. I love this project. You project yourself in a beauty. You make the reality better. You're going to adorn the reality. I love that's a great attitude. In Symphony, there are a selection of new designers, then all friends of mine. I know I'll have, for example, another thing that I like is going to meet coming into the business. I like to meet every new designer to understand better the individuality, what they're going to do. I like this kind of a community. Then you have to support everyone, and you have to follow the career to everyone. Then slowly we come like a community. Then, for example, I know Jason Wu. Maybe 3 years ago, when I start to come in New York to see collection, I already met Jason and talked to him. And every season I go to see him, what's going on, what's the business, how the business going. I mean, I like to be a coach to the young designer. And the same, and impressed me about Jason, impressed me so much his knowledge about Italian fabric. He spends so many time in Italy to research fabric, to research the best wool, the best silk, and he's know every name of the right name of the fabric. That's impressed me so much for a younger designer like him. The same is Prabal. I love the name because I never good. The pronunciation is so difficult. He say like trouble, yeah. Prabal like trouble, Prabal. Anyway, it's another from Singapore. He's from Singapore. He's another great guy. Passionate, he's crazy for fashion. I mean, he had this fierce woman as a muse, and now he got the right result. He got the right result. He was starting with lot of cashmere wool, and then now he evolved your style in a big more in a big, come si dice, big spread. I mean, and now the last show, it was excellent. It was all print. It was this decadent print of roses, of pink and dark roses, and it was really a great evolution of his style. The last show, summer, spring, summer show. That's, for example, two of them. The other one about, for example, neck accessories is Charlotte Olympia. She's great. She has this incredible family. She has the mother, strong mother. She represents this jet set life, but she's in a good way because she's part of this jet set, but she's in the same time hard worker. And then she made it slowly her business, and now it's got very. I mean, and now she done. She have these shoes, incredible shoes, very decorative, very flashy, very glam, and last time it was in London. It was in London or in New York? No, in London. No, because also sometimes it's showing in New York too. Anyway, she was in London. She did this collection like Miami kind of pin-up girl. She's a beautiful girl. I mean, lot of great energy, vibe. And now she has her own business. I mean, that's incredible. Then we have Felicity Brown. Felicity is part of a London British Council, say. That's another part that I really love because it's you should go always in London because you have every year a new surprise, new coming designer. And Felicity Brown is one of that one. Now, I personally, I don't know her. I know her job, but personally, maybe I will meet tonight, but I didn't know her personally, but I know her job. She has this incredible sense of color. She can pull the different shade of color, and she can make this sculptor dress with color and volume. And then she know how to cut the dress because all the dress is unfinished, cut like laser, and she has great idea of how cut and make a dress. Hopefully, I will meet tonight. And another Camilla, the name is, another second name is impossible to say. Camilla Stonjonu. Scott. Yeah, Camilla, another good design accessories. Always, I mean, we have to say Camilla's shoes are comfortable, but sexy in a way, in the same way. But she has always. She's urban chic, let's say. She has this sense of urban, very fierce, but in the same time practical, which is really good for us when we have to stay up at the hill for so long. Thank you so much to Symphony, all the family of Symphony, all the beautiful family of Symphony. Thank you for Holly to support me, to invite me here. Thank you so much. Bye bye.